After this, you're going to pick up kids from the school.
Yeah.
What is motherhood like right now at this stage?
I'm so excited to go see them when I go pick them up from school, even though I just saw them a few hours ago. I miss them.
Yeah. There's Urfi, who's quite popular. And how do you see her? She has a following, she has a self-made. So how do you see her?
She came on the show and she was just as amazing, and I loved it. And she's like, I see who. And I loved it.
Movie-wise, what should we expect in the near future? I know Anurag's movies, from whatever I hear, everybody's talking about your acting already.
Work with people like this, I should get out of my comfort zone. This is not comfortable for me to give an audition, but it was a challenge, and I really wanted to do a good job. And once I got there, again, I was really nervous. Hi, I'm Sunny Leone, and you're watching this interview on Bollywood Hungama.
Sunny, welcome to Bollywood Hungama. Thank you so much for your time, firstly.
Thank you so much.
Sunny, I'm going to talk about, say, today. On a normal day, what keeps you busy? What keeps you going and driven with an amazing family life, with an amazing professional life?
I think it all keeps me going. A cup of coffee. But every single day is different. There's always work to do. There's always bites or interviews or certain things that I need to do and shoot, even if it's, let's say, not a shooting day.
Right.
So today I'm here, then I go pick up the boys, then I take them home, then we have some meetings. So it just goes like this all day, every day, which is nice though. When there's nothing to do, then it gets boring.
I'm sure. So we get to see only through social media and your Instagram what you're up to. After this, you're going to pick up kids from the school. What is motherhood like right now at this stage? If you could explain, what have you learned from it that you didn't know about it?
Time management. I thought I was pretty good and organized before, but now I'm a pro. Time management is definitely one of them. And I think they've sort of calmed down a lot of different things where you think, ye gana, and then we have to hurry everything up, where everything with them, it's on their schedule, it's on their time. It's not about always our time.
Right.
Our time we schedule differently, but throughout the day, it really is all about them. And it's nice. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I love it. I'm so excited to go see them when I go pick them up from school, even though I just saw them a few hours ago. I miss them. Their smiles, their hugs, what they have to talk about and say is so fascinating right now, because their learning is exponentially growing. And all of a sudden your kid comes home saying all these big words, and you're totally shocked. It's nice.
Right. Is the house always packed and noisy?
Yes, loud. My house is loud.
Okay.
The only time it's not loud is when they're at school. When the house is quiet, it's very odd. And I always tell somebody who's not used to being around my children that maybe you're going to go home and you're going to say, oh my gosh, silence, I love it, I'm so happy. But for me, it's the opposite.
It's the opposite. You need that noise,
Yeah.
When you and your husband talk, this upbringing is very different from the way you all must have brought up. What is the big difference that you see that these kids are getting, and what the exposure that they have?
They need for nothing in life, which is very nice that we're able to give that to them. And I think the hardest part is kind of bringing them back down
Right. Yeah.
because they're floating.
True.
You know, every time someone sees them, they're always giving them a present, and I'm like, no, don't give presents. Let's calm down. You see them all the time, like their mamus and buas will
So
come
sweet,
over
yeah.
all the time, and they always have like presents in their hand. And now they're so used to that.
Huh.
They're like, where's my present? I'm like, Are yaar, yes, anybody? You don't talk like this. This is so rude and mean. But they don't know because
Right.
their mamas and buas have conditioned them to be this way.
Yeah.
But I think like for them, they're now starting to connect some dots
Okay.
where before they were not.
Right.
They didn't understand, why is there a camera
Hmm.
outside, or mommy, why do they know you? I'm like, do you know
Yeah.
how you know Spider-Man and the Hulk or My Little Pony? And if you saw them, you would be so excited. Well, sometimes those people have seen me on, television, and they're excited. And then, while I'm explaining, they get distracted by something else. The topic moves on. It's not so serious
Right.
just yet. And then they make fun of me because they'll go, Sunny Auntie. Like, stop calling me Sunny Auntie. Because their friends call me Sunny Auntie.
Right.
So then for about a day afterwards, they're like, hi, Sunny Auntie. I'm like, stop it. And they think it's funny.
Right. So when
Very funny.
when the kids see the paparazzi, are they at an age where they understand what's happening? This is too much for them to witness, right?
I've given them the choice that if they feel uncomfortable,
Okay.
they need to tell me.
Okay.
So if they say, I'm feeling uncomfortable, mommy, then I pull one behind me.
Okay.
And I'm okay if he
Right.
doesn't want to say hello.
Right.
Or, smile. Or whatever they want to do, I'm fine with. If they feel comfortable and they're saying hi to everybody and happy about it, that's also fine.
Right.
But if they're feeling uncomfortable, then it's my job to make sure that
Sure.
their request is respected.
Of course.
Because you never want a child to feel forced to talk to people. And there's always this confusion, too, with children that I think as parents we don't always highlight.
Yeah.
Growing up, we're always told that we have to say namaste, sat sri akal, auntie, uncle, give them hugs and kisses and all these things. But we live in a world right now where personal space is extremely important. And for our young children to understand that, no, you do not have to say hello to someone you don't know. You don't have to say hello, namaste, shake hands, fist bumps, all these, give hugs to random people just because they think that we're friends with mommy. So that's always really challenging because they should have that fear, stranger danger fear. So that's challenge.
Right. You said, they came and said that, why do these people know you? Are they, do their friends tell them that, their mom is an actor, you're a host? Are they at a period where people are making them realize that their mom is famous and she does acting and
no, not yet.
Not yet?
That hasn't quite hit home yet. I think they're still just wrapped up in their own worlds and so busy. And my children don't have social media yet.
Okay.
They don't play on their phones and look at social media.
yet.
They're not sitting and making TikTok videos
Okay.
or these Instagram reels and all these things. I don't allow that. Neither does my husband.
Okay.
That's all going to happen with time.
Okay.
So the longer I can keep them in my own bubble, I think it's better off.
Sure.
They're 7 and
Yeah,
4.
that's-
They don't need that right
Of
now.
course. Should this be a completely individual choice for every parent at what age to give a mobile phone and at what age to expose them to Instagram, TikTok, and all that? This should be an individual, completely a family to family thing.
Absolutely. I think for our family, I have seen firsthand, felt firsthand what it feels like to be on Instagram or social media when it doesn't go so well.
Right.
And where you're reading and seeing things and being exposed to things that maybe for my children, I don't want them to see.
Right.
Because all those things are going to come with time.
They will
Right now, I want them playing soccer, going to dance class, learning Hindi. What other things do they do? Art class. They do like so many different things, gymnastics, that I want them so busy in learning and doing all these things that is secondary for me.
Right.
And as a parent, you have to do what's best for you and your child.
Right.
And if you feel like that's fine for you, then that's fine for you.
Fair enough. And coming to motherhood and professional career, are these, this can be a huge discussion to do, but just over the top, do you balance it well? Because we keep seeing you in films on and off, we keep seeing you hosting Splitsvilla, and then here you are picking them up from school. Is this manageable? You're managing this well?
Absolutely. I told you I learned a lot of time management. Each film or each show or each day is very different.
Okay.
And with, let's say, Splitsvilla.
Right.
Splitsvilla has a schedule that is very friendly towards my children's wake time.
Oh, okay.
So I'm only working, I have all my mornings free, and then I'm only working for 4 to 6 hours in the afternoon, and part of that time was their nap time. So I'm really only missing about 90 minutes of their waking time.
Right.
And then I come back and I'm there for dinner and playtime and go swimming and do all these different activities that we would do. And then they go to sleep at 8 o'clock or 8:30.
Okay.
So then I start shooting at night.
Okay.
So there were these gaps for Splitsvilla. It's the only show and the only thing that I work on where I feel comfortable bringing my kids.
Okay.
Everything else is I've not, because it's boring.
Right.
And what child wants to sit there unless they're extremely keen on learning about film or photography or learning how to use a camera, all those things, that's different.
Right.
But they're not at that age.
They're not.
So balancing that was easy.
Right.
Or if we're working on different, like if I'm working on a different film, then I'll shoot and we have to have multiple discussions about how this is how much time, we'll make a calendar, you can tick it off, and then mommy will be home. And every either week and a half, 2 weeks, and I will come home, spend some time with them. So I've instilled in them the difference between quality time and promises. I try my 110% to keep those promises. So if I say I'm going to be home, I'm going to be home.
Right.
And if I say we're going to have so much fun this weekend, but then mommy has to leave again Sunday night, to go back to work, then that's the agreement that we've set.
Right.
And they're learning to understand that.
So you are doing this balancing and doing your time management, like you said, very well, right?
Yeah.
Sunny, the impression is that you must, there must be a lot of offers, and people want you in music videos and movies. What do you personally, when you say yes, okay, let's do this? What is the thought behind it?
For films, it's easy. It's just, do I like the story?
Okay.
Does it intrigue me? And that's it. At this point, I think in our industry, no one has quite figured out what's happening.
Working, what's not.
Some of your biggest stars or some of these very, very new ones, their films do amazing, or somebody that we've known for a long time, their films are not doing well. So I think our expectations are completely different. I think, or at least they should be completely different. They shouldn't be compared pre-COVID at all. And we live in a digital world now, so someone's going to more likely watch that film sitting on their couch than going to the movie theater, which is sad.
Right.
But there's so much money in the digital world as well.
Absolutely. When you say yes to a Splitsvilla, for example, what's the thought behind that? What does that add to your already, all that you have on your profile?
Well, when I first signed Splitsvilla, since I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a VJ on MTV. I grew up watching MTV, the first reality shows of MTV, and seeing them and watching the music videos and thinking that those VJs were the coolest people I've ever seen in my life. That's what I grew up thinking in my head. So when the offer first came, I was ecstatic and so happy and thought, this is amazing, this is it, I'm so happy. And then I hosted the show and I loved it. I loved the idea of watching these contestants come in. They're very young. They're in between, let's say, 18 and maybe 27.
Wow.
Something like that. They're very young. So their exposure to life and like things that happen in their own world is still fairly new to them. And watching them from day one till the very end is extremely fascinating. Because what shows up on TV is one thing, but I see a different side of those contestants. I see their growth, or I see them being pushed to a limit they've never been pushed before, because they really want to win. Or with Splitsvilla, they're being emotionally challenged as well, because they have to make tough choices. And no matter what people say on reality television, you can only act a certain way for so long until those true colors really come out. Or maybe you're shy, and then finally you are okay with being yourself, or it takes time for you to feel comfortable. So watching that process, I watch a couple of girls that this year who were so quiet, they didn't say anything, and then all of a sudden something happened, and the light switch went on, and I'm like, hi, nice to meet you finally. This is who you are, and I love it. And they're really, really nice kids.
There's Urfi, who's quite popular, and how do you see her? She has a following. She's self-made. So how do you see her?
I think what she's done for herself in creating a niche in a market that is completely saturated is amazing. She took the idea that this is how I am different, and I'm okay with that. And I want to dress the way I want, talk the way I want. I want to talk about subjects that are important to me, whether someone likes it or not. I think that she's amazing. And she came on the show, and she was just as amazing, and I loved it. And she's like, I see who. I loved it. She's like, I talk like this. This is how I talk. This is how I express myself. And it was such a pleasure to watch.
Confidence.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to watch. And even for her, there were some moments where she also felt vulnerable and emotional, which I believe people are going to see.
Sure, yeah. Last question about your movie. Movie-wise, what should we expect in the near future? I know Anurag's movies, from whatever I hear, everybody's talking about your acting already. So looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this film. I said it to him on the last day of my shoot, and it was just, thank you for picking up the phone, and thank you for giving me a chance. I auditioned for this, and the funniest thing about this audition is I was so nervous because I've not done many auditions in Bollywood, and the first one didn't work out so well, and this one again, it's like, okay, well, you know what? To work with people like this, I should get out of my comfort zone. This is not comfortable for me to give an audition, but it was a challenge, and I really wanted to do a good job. And once I got there, again, I was really nervous. Once I got there, the room was full of people. He brought in every assistant, everybody that was there. I believe the producer also was there. He was there. The actor was there. I was like, oh my gosh, this is even more nervous, nerve-wracking. And did the audition and finished. And then he turns to all his people. He's like, so what do you think? Does she fit the part? Does she fit the role? And one by one, it was like a test. I was like, oh my God, this is horrible. I was like, somebody please don't talk shit later. Just tell me you liked it now. And went through every single person and said, did you like it? Do you think she fits? And all of them were very happy, which I was so thankful for.
So with his magic touch and with your spark and talent, so we can't wait for that one.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sunny Leone, and you're watching this interview on Bollywood Hungama.